Are you looking for the hottest news out of the obstacle racing scene? Want to stay up to date on the freshest info, the latest podiums, and hear interviews with the who's who in OCR? Well, you've come to the wrong place. Well, some of that you'll find here. But we're not the media. This is not ORM, OCM, OCRM, ORCM. This is OCR Talk.
Hello, this is Jason Dupree.
And Anna Landry.
And you are listening to episode 58 of OCR Talk. This is a quick intro episode. It's going to be a republishing of our recap of World's Toughest, virtual World's Toughest that we did with the OCR report game. So,
doesn't it seem like so long ago?
It does. And my bad for not doing this sooner.
Oh, no, that wasn't a dig at you. That was just like, man, it was only a month ago. Like, it feels like it was just last week or something.
Yeah, well, in the podcast and news world, it's a long time ago now.
Yeah.
So, did you listen to it? Have you listened to it yet?
Yep, I listened to it actually whenever it first came out on my commute to work.
I did as well, and I enjoyed it. So our listeners, mainly for listeners who have not heard it yet on World's Toughest Podcast. If you hadn't, then obviously go over there and check out Will's intro, even if you listen to the rest of it here, because his intros are always great. But yeah, we're going to just have a quick intro, kind of talk about what we've been up to, because right now, it's early December already, getting close to mid-December, and, lots been going on. So before we get into what we've been up to, we're going to try and get on top of the things that we constantly always forget, mentioning certain things and doing the giveaways. And we want to make sure that we stay on top of that and be a little bit better about that. So first off, want to say thanks to Will Hicks and the OCR Report for being, try not to say it the exact same way that Mike says it on Obstacle Running Adventures. But for being a part of that group. And, it's really cool, just to give a little bit of insight, it's really cool to be a part of a group that not only do we just have a place for our podcast, but we talk to those guys constantly. We're starting to do these episodes with them, and just the collaboration that we get out of the team is super rad.
Sure. And I'm really looking forward to next year as far as like all the videos and live events that hopefully we'll get to do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And so, our episodes get posted on the OCRreport.com, but we're also on Libsyn. Liberated Syndicate. Yeah. Libsyn. But obviously you listen wherever you get your podcast. The group, we now have a merch site, and it has been such a minute since we recorded. I forget how much we've talked about this. I feel like we've mentioned it, but we haven't really dug into the fact that we have moved from Spreadshop to Threadless now. And Threadless is another website that's very similar, where you can put up your own merch, but you never have to deal with inventory, basically. So you can just have the single orders that can get processed, and they do it all for you, which is really awesome, because not only can we get shirts like on a whim, but we could make our own, whatever design we want. And then there's like a ton of other products. So more than even just Spreadshop had, there's shower curtains that we haven't put our logo on yet, but we will. Skateboard decks, mugs, and all the other random stuff too, but way more than I would have thought. What do you think?
Still holding out for a hoodie.
Which shower curtain are you hoping to get?
I want the Jack Goris shower curtain.
Can we make one with just his face, that picture of him? That would be amazing.
That might be a bit much.
That is a great to mention, though, that all the other OCR Report podcasts all have stuff on there, too. So we've got the OCR Report, World's Toughest Podcast, OCR Coven, Obstacle Running Adventures. Even Jack Gores has a T-shirt on there. I'm sure at some point Piss and Cox might have some stuff on there. The only one that we're missing is Overcome and Run. And as soon as we get some artwork from Heather, then those will be up there as well. Now, even cooler is the fact that all of our giveaways that we're going to do, we're going to mention some more giveaway stuff in a moment, but when we do giveaways, it's going to be stuff from our store. So it'll be easy to just say, hey, go pick something. And to be honest, it doesn't have to be an OCR Talk thing. If you win a giveaway and it's for a t-shirt, you can pick your favorite podcast out of that group and get a shirt for the giveaway or whatever it's going to be. Like we'll start out with a shirt, I think, and then move into some of these weirder items that you can get off of that site.
Weirder than a Jack Gores shower curtain?
That's going to be a special, April Fool's episode.
That would be perfect. I want to send one to Carlos Piscatello.
Now we've also
Merry
got
Christmas, Carlos.
That would be awesome. Are we doing Secret Santa? Because that would be perfect.
Because I'm about to take care of that right now.
We've also got a new code for EndurElite. We were doing a little promotional thing with them before where we had a 10% off code, and now we've got one that I think is kind of across the board for the OCR report. Ref10-OCR-report. Ref10-OCR-report gets you 10% off on your order, and then those proceeds, as with any other giveaway, as with all proceeds, with all proceeds that we get from anything at the OCR Talk, yeah, man, I'm really messing this up now.
Words are hard.
All of our proceeds go towards more giveaways. So anything you buy from EndurElite with our code Ref10-OCR-report will go back into more giveaways. And, as the more money we get from anything, that just means our giveaways are going to get bigger and better as that grows. And I guess the OCR report, the rest of them see nothing from that. No, but again, our giveaways can be their stuff too. So yeah,
definitely. Cool. Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about that? Because is there more going along with that whole EndurElite thing?
Yes.
What else are we getting?
So, in January, starting in January, we will be giving away a free product every month from EndurElite, thanks to our fabulous partnership with Matt Mossman and all the hardworking folks over there at EndurElite. We are going to be giving away an EndurElite product every month next year, starting with, like I said, a tub of PerformElite. So just pop into our DMs, either our individual or our podcast accounts, and just let us know that you're interested if you want to be entered into that drawing. And we'll probably circle back around and give that away sometime in January or towards the end of January. So early notice, because I know it's a crowd favorite. We're going to be giving away a tub of PerformElite, and you can have all the tingles and all the pre-workout.
You kicked that off very professionally. That was nice. I think we're going to end up. This is really cool. Like one giveaway from them a month. That's pretty rad. And I think we're going to end up having to alternate giveaways here. Like one episode's going to be one of our normal giveaways, and next episode will be EndurElite if we keep up this kind of 2 a month thing. So that's pretty awesome.
Definitely. I'm super, super excited about it, and I'm so grateful to have partnered with them on that, and I'm super psyched about it.
Well, shoot, let's get this started with a giveaway for a t-shirt on the site. So the Threadless site, we've got 2 types of t-shirt. Well, actually, we have 3 types of t-shirts on the website. There's an extra soft shirt. There's a tri-blend, which is even more soft, I think. And then there are performance t-shirts. So whoever wins the giveaway will be able to choose between any of the OCR report stuff that's up there in t-shirt form in any of those t-shirts. And I'll just say the extra soft is made by Bella Canvas. They're a more solid color, and they are very soft, but it's a different material than you get. Like a lot of the race shirts that you get, like especially the old Spartan ones before they went to the performance shirts, those are the tri-blend. So when I said there's a extra soft and a tri-blend, the tri-blend is actually made by Next Level, which is the same company that did our very first t-shirts, and they are awesome. I love those shirts the most.
Yeah, those are a little bit more fitted. They're very soft, but yes, they are more fitted, like as far as men's and women's go.
Yeah, and that tri-blend color is more of they call it a heather, and you can see the blend, like you can see the mix of the materials in there.
Yep.
So it's not just a flat color.
Yeah, and I think the performance, because I was looking at them last night, the performance material is very similar, if not the same material as this year's Tough Mudder finisher shirts.
I do need to get me one of those to test it out, because I haven't seen one in person yet.
Yeah, I was reading up on like the materials and the brand and everything, so it looks like it's that kind of material. So I'm not sure about the fitting, but yeah.
Yeah, well, let's keep it simple here. We've got 2 episodes that we're going to release back to back here, and we'll mention this again in the next intro, where if you comment on our post for these 2 episodes, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, or where else do we post? Facebook, Instagram. We don't do Twitter. Is there another one? Is that it?
Nope, that's it. I don't do Twitter.
Okay.
Facebook and Instagram are enough for me.
That's true. So yeah, just comment on one of those. Anybody that comments will be entered into the giveaway. You can say that you want the giveaway for the shirt, or just say, "Hey, what's up?" and that'll work.
Actually specify what you're wanting to be entered in for. If not both, if you want to be entered in for the shirt or the Endurely.
Well, we've got that's true. Let's say if you don't mention anything, then it's for the shirt. But if you mention Endurely specifically, we'll put you in that drawing.
Sounds great.
Sound good. Because we've got these 2 episodes that are going to happen pretty soon here, and then the giveaway, the drawing for it won't happen until we record next. So that might be before the end of the year, but again, that might be early January as well.
Yep.
So we might end up having to do 2 drawings at the same time.
There you go.
Cool. All right. I was going to try and keep this intro short, and we have not done so. So let's just talk for a moment. What have you been up to since World's Toughest?
Well, I got into the gym pretty soon after World's Toughest. Probably like the following week, I went back to my cycling class that I've been taking with my friend that's a trainer at 24 Hour Fitness. And other than that, just running here and there. My mileage is like super, super low, but I'm just like doing whatever makes me happy at this point.
Yeah.
Like the cycling is all new and exciting because like I'm watching my wattage numbers go up and everything. So it's like whenever you first started running and you kept seeing your pace drop, it's kind of like that with me on the spin bike. It's like I keep seeing my FTP wattage go up and up, and I'm like, yeah.
Getting that performance boost. What do you call that? Whenever you just the quick gains, I guess.
Yes.
that you get when you first start something. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I've been, the same boat here, just running much, much less and less miles. I actually did 5 miles just yesterday, which was nice. But I think it was the weekend after, maybe it was 2 weekends after World's Toughest that I did 16 miles with Will Raymond on accident. We were trying to go for 15, misjudged the trail, and ran out of water and felt like trash after because I got dehydrated. But I felt good, running that distance until the end there. I have been like treating it like it's off season, and I'd say I'd say this year I've done. Shoot, I didn't even think about it. This could be our last episode of the year. So while we might do, we might be in a like panel podcast with all the other podcasters again, like we did last year, but this could be it for 2020 for us. Yeah. And I really felt like this year was probably one of the first times where I felt like I really stayed in shape all year long. Like I wasn't like race weight all the time, but for me, that's like a difference of maybe 5 pounds. So I stayed in a decent shape all year, even though we had COVID going on. I think having virtual worlds, even like as soon as that all got canceled and we knew that was going to happen, helped me to continue to maintain all the way through the year. So I was really, really happy with 2020 as far as my fitness is concerned.
Yeah, I winged it this year. Yeah, I just winged it this year, to be honest. Like, it really threw me for a loop. I really didn't feel like it was going to, because I tried to really stay focused, but then like so much other stuff was going on with like my job and get, the promotion and everything. And then like we're trying to open up this place in like 45 days. And it's like, yeah, but still staying active. Like I said in the beginning, just for my own like happiness, I just want to do stuff that I enjoy. Like if I'm not enjoying it, then what's the point in doing it? So if I'm looking at a workout and I'm like, and I think that's just why I've just stuck with the cycling, as long as I have. And it's like one of the very few things that I can still do in a very, very small group of people.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen myself like, I'm not going to run every day. I'm not keeping any kind of schedule. It's really just more when it suits and when I'm kind of desiring it,
Yeah.
So cool. Well, you did have even more than COVID. You had a ton going on this year. Of course, we moved as well as what
bought
a weird
house
year.
And everything. I know. Don't you feel like we're so grown up? Like you bought a house, I got a promotion. Like I feel so grown up, and it really wasn't even real to me until like I got my badge and it had my name and it had my title underneath it. And I'm like, oh wow, I can't wear this yet, but like I feel so official.
Well, awesome. We have made the best out of 2020, and I think we did a pretty darn good job.
That is for sure. Don't you feel though like it's been a really good time, even though everything else sucked? It's been a good thing to just refocus on like why you do what you do, and as far as like activity goes and running and working out and staying fit and everything, like you do it because ultimately you enjoy it and you just want to be healthy and happy, right?
Yeah, I definitely hope that, people, obviously there are some people out there that are probably like, oh, this year sucks and my life sucks. Well, your life only sucks because you don't do things to make it better. So hopefully for people that are out there that feel like 2020 was trash, can look at it from a different perspective and see, I didn't hate this year. People talk so bad about it, but I really enjoyed 2020.
Yeah. There is a general consensus that 2020 was just hot garbage.
But they say that about every year, right? I mean, this one really stood out more than
this year in particular.
But it seems like there's always something that people are complaining about, but that's just people, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of the people, let them get on to the listening of the actual episode. I think we've jabbered on enough here. Come back for the next one. Right now, you're about to hear the recap of Virtual World's Toughest Mudder with myself and Anna, and Will Hicks, Carlo Piscatello, and who else was in there? Mike?
Kim DeVos.
Stefano? Kim DeVos. And Mike.
Yes.
Maybe.
Nope. Mike wasn't on this one. Nope.
Okay. All right. Come on
enjoy.
back for the next one.
Kim DeVos is the host of OCR Coven, a podcast with OCR, but no real witches. Jason Dupree and Anna Landry are the hosts of OCR Talk, a podcast with OCR and real talking. Carlo Piscatello is half of the hosting team behind the YouTube show Piss and Cox. It's their name, so it's not offensive. All 4 of them are veterans of World's Toughest Mudder and participated in the first and hopefully only ever virtual World's Toughest Mudder this weekend, known as World's Toughest Mudder Lockdown Edition. Kim, Jason, Anna, and Carlo, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hi. Hey.
Thank you, Will. Good to see you again, buddy.
Good to be seen. Hey, I want to talk about what the race actually looked like in a minute, but first question, and if you want to flex a little, it's okay. How many miles did you get? Kim, let's start with you.
I got 50 miles.
Congratulations.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Anna Landry.
I got 50 miles as well.
I know I got 50. Jason Dupree.
I got 55.
Check you out.
Winner.
Lex.
And then, Carlo, you did not run the race. What was your role this weekend?
I did not. I was part of the Zoom call team with Kyle McLaughlin and Sean Corvell and Clinton Jackson. So we basically provided commentary for the full 24 hours, which in itself was the challenging experience.
I want to talk about all of those experiences. Anna, can you talk about the actual race? What does a virtual World's Toughest Mudder look like?
So we all got the email with our gear list ahead of time, and all the laps that we had to do, all the 5-mile loops, which Jason was kind enough to plot out a 5-mile route for us all on pavement, which was so nice.
Now, you guys actually ran together, right? One of you flew.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, I flew down from Colorado. To Texas. My mom lives in Dallas, so I surprised her. And we plotted out a little 5-mile route in Jason's neighborhood and did our shenanigans in his garage in between laps.
Jason, what'd you do between laps? What were those shenanigans?
Well, it was all kinds of things like take balloons and throw them at cups, and take other cups and put ping pong balls in them, and take more cups and put water in them. So lots of cups and balloons and balls.
You guys had, I didn't think about this till afterwards. You guys had a little, I don't know if it was an advantage, but it must have been nice to run with somebody instead of just and Kim, Kim, you were with a group too, weren't you?
I had a group at my house, a small group, very small, but it did make a big difference between that and the toughest I did alone with my sister. So, yeah.
Jason, how did you do toughest last time, the 12-hour race?
I did toughest, alone, but we had, like a text group going. So we had a little bit of communication, but it definitely was better, even though Anna and I started together. I think we did the first lap together, and then after that we split up, just whoever was faster. But it was still awesome to be able to pass somebody by, because we had a lot of out and backs and little loops and stuff, and be able to be like, good job, just same kind of stuff you do on the course.
So you weren't like running together other than that first lap, but you'd pass each other going opposite directions and high fives or see you at the garage kind of stuff.
Right. And we had another friend as well, Mark Duplessis, that ran with us too. So we had 3 of us.
Kim, tell me about your crew. Who'd you have helping out or working with?
I had Jessica Johnson and Travis Langness and a friend of mine, Brian. And we all ran. Travis only did a couple laps because his main goal was to get us to our goals, and we did pretty good, but it was nice. It was definitely nice being able to see each other out while we were doing a loop, because it just gave that little bit of illusion of a real race.
Carlo, could you tell any difference between the people that were running together versus the ones that were running solo?
No, not necessarily, because most folks didn't come back into the Zoom call until they were obviously done with their lap. We only had a couple people who checked in while they were out on their lap, which I thought was kind of cool. A couple guys from the UK did that. And then the guy's escaping me now, but actually I did want to ask one question about, you were talking about the balloons knocking over the cups. Did any of you guys employ put the dice in the balloon and then throw it at the cup? Because that seemed to be, once word got out that you could do that, like we really saw a lot of people starting to do that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys saw us do it. Because I started out with a rock in my balloon, and I threw it, and I put it in there the day before, so it was kind of worn already, and it popped the balloon. So my second balloon, I took the dice and put those in there, and that worked really well. And even better is taking the end, not tying it off, but at least twisting it so it didn't just like let all the air out right away.
Okay, there you go. Good.
There were a lot of those
Yeah,
little.
I had dice in my balloon too.
There were a lot of those little tricks that I don't think Team HQ planned on them, but we're like, okay, is there any wiggle room in the rules here? Does it say we can't do this? So.
And Kyle was really good about that. Like only like once or twice, Kyle would be like, I think you guys are going a little too liberal with your interpretation of the rules. For the most part, though, there was only a couple times where that was a thing where he kind of had to step in and be like, no.
One of the
Well,
obstacles.
he had to have known from toughest, right? There was a lot of interpretation with the results from that race,
definitely,
or with the obstacles. So he knew. I'm sure he knew that there was going to have to be like some wiggle room.
And with toughest, I tried to be way too literal. So this one, I definitely like studied it and tried to figure out the tricks before the race even started.
Where are the loopholes?
Okay, so
I fix this?
One of the obstacles required you to do squats, 100 squats, while keeping 2 balloons airborne.
Yep.
Did any of you guys put helium in your balloons? Because I saw several people like with balloons held down by string, and I was like, I'm going to call shenanigans. Because airborne is different than air is a gas, and helium is a completely different gas. And an airborne balloon is not a helium-borne balloon. It was approved, and they were okay.
That's like awful easy access to helium. I don't have those kind of connections, so.
Right, and I believe that the rules just said an inflated balloon. It didn't say inflated with what. So I think that's probably how they took that. I do think, though, the people that realized early on that you could tie the balloons together, that made it obviously a lot. We saw people trying to, literally juggle the 2 and then do the squats, and it was just a bit of a mess. It was fun to watch, but it was a bit of a mess. But then once people started realizing that you could tie them together and it's okay, then obviously it makes it like 100% easier.
We had ours tied together, and I started doing them, and then my son came out and saw how much fun it was, and he started trying to hit them too, and I was like, no, I can't let him drop.
Daddy's got to do squats.
Right.
But he kind of helped you like keep them up in the air. Like he would bat at them. And
I almost lost them one time because of that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the hardest part of the race. What was the hardest part of the race for you, Kim?
I was going to say the last 10 miles, but I think it was everything after mile 15. The pavement, I have done so much pavement running this year. I can't handle any more. So just moving forward out on the laps was so hard.
Yeah.
What about you?
My feet were killing me.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with that.
I think me and Anna and Mark all at the same time were all complaining about our feet as well. And I actually ended up taking an extended break, and I don't remember how long it was, but I was like massaging my feet with my massage gun and everything. When I went back out, my feet felt amazing. It felt renewed. So it definitely made a difference at first, but then somehow I got past it, I don't know, and made it through to the end.
I did a couple ice baths for my feet, and that really helped at different times, but it was rough. That was the hardest part.
Yeah, the pavement was terrible. I mean, I was feeling it by mile 15. I'm like, how did I ever do a marathon on pavement? Like, I don't understand this.
Anna just dropping in there that she runs marathons. So
Right, smooth.
Casual flex.
Hey, well, can I ask a question of you guys, since it was kind of feedback that we received from people who were obviously running the event? Was I want to know, and well, if I'm jumping on your question, forgive me. People really seem to hate the lap where you had to run the 26 out. Is it 26 the 300 meter sections? And I'm trying to figure out first off, was that horrible for you? And if so, what made it so horrible?
It was just monotonous. It was just the same thing over and over again. It was like we were going up and down Jason's street, and we were like passing each other. And at first, the first few times, we were kind of joking about it, like, haha, this is so terrible. This is like terrible. And then like there was this point where like there was no talking.
This literally is terrible now. It's actually terrible.
It's actually terrible. And I really just don't even want to talk about it anymore.
the second hardest part of the race.
Was it really? Yeah.
For me,
Concrete.
that lap landed at like 2:30 in the morning, which is like the worst time of a 24-hour race, because it's like it's you're already into it, you're in the middle of the night, and plus it's like it's the end of the race is still so far out. And so it was going back and forth past my house, and like halfway through that, you know, and you can't look at your phone, like, because I lost count of the 26 almost immediately, so I'm just like relying on my phone for distance. And halfway through it, I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom, so I just stopped and I fell asleep sitting down for like a minute and a half, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna, like, I still have plenty of time to finish 50 miles, but I don't know, like, I'm just so tired, and I've already done 38 and a half miles. That's pretty good. Your brain starts talking to you, and you have this like loser's mentality for a second where you're like, right. I don't have to prove anything to anybody, right? No one else is out here with me. Like, I've done this for real. This doesn't even count. Like, and your brain starts like lying to you. And you know what saved me was we had a little text group thing going on. And I don't know, someone said something, and I was like, all right, I'll just finish this one stupid lap, and then we'll talk about it. But then after that 40, it was like, 3:30 or 4 o'clock, and just like, might as well keep going. So,
and then you're only 10 miles away from 50, so it's like, how can you stop at 40?
Yeah,
I think it was demoralizing for us because we all did go inside to take a break, and then we were just like, screw it, let's just take a nap.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's probably like my best memory from the whole weekend was like after that lap, we were all just like, let's just go inside. And Jason's wife and Mark's girlfriend were inside watching reality TV and eating pizza. and all three of us were like, hey, what's going on in there? Like, that looks like fun.
Yeah, we just laid on the floor and then ended up falling asleep.
Yeah.
So you guys took a little cat nap in the middle of the race there?
Yeah,
pretty much.
I could not go. If I had done that, I would not be able to get back out there. Like, that's the end. Like, if I fall asleep, I'm done. Like, that's it.
I fell asleep in probably the most uncomfortable position ever. Like, I didn't even have a pillow or anything. I was just like laying down on the floor with my hands underneath my head. And then whenever I woke up, I was like, I don't even know how I fell asleep like that.
But that's also kind of the difference, right, between this one and because the real world's, even if you go to sleep in your tent, you're never super comfortable. You're still cold. You're still wet. The difference is in this one, you could go inside and literally sleep in your bed if you wanted to for an hour or two.
Yeah. Yeah,
which
Jason,
is what I did.
Didn't you even like take a bath or something?
Yeah, I got in a tub and got it nice and warm. put on some soft pants.
I would not put socks back on. I'm done. Like, once those socks come off and you see how nasty your feet look, like, that's the end of the race for me.
By the way, Will, thanks to social media,
Yeah.
I definitely know what I'm all about it, that, but like your feet, man.
Feet
So I couldn't find
you need some different shoes or something.
No, I couldn't. I have I usually use trail running shoes because we run on trails usually, but I have this foot goo lube stuff that I usually use on my toes. And this race was real different than a regular World's Toughest Mudder as far as the preparation, because usually like preparation for World's Toughest Mudder is like a month-long process, right? You're like making sure you have everything together, you try the wetsuit on, and you make sure your nutrition's lined up, or you're going to go to Target when you get there. For this race for me was like, it was like the night before, and the night, like, I was like, oh shoot, I need to get my stuff together. And I have, my stuff in the garage, but I could not find my foot lube. I was like, okay, well, the race starts at 10 o'clock my time. I'll just stop at the running store and just run over to the running store in the morning and grab it. And the running store didn't open until 11 a.m. I was like,
oh, no.
Well, I'll be fine. Like, I've run lots on pavement before, and I just kind of talked myself into like, oh, you don't need it. And so I had some of that, that blue deodorant looking, whatever it's called,
Body Glide?
Body Glide. So I use that on my feet, which is better than nothing. But man, my left toe, but my little toe, the entire left toe.
It's like degloved.
It did. It basically, like, the entire outer skin, like the whole thing was a blister. The only thing keeping the skin on my toe was the toenail. It's just disgusting.
Awesome.
And I don't usually
crazy looking.
I post social media like once every never, but I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. And so I took a picture of it, and you can see the toe print. Like, it's you can see the entire thing as it comes off. And I posted. Usually people put like hey, just a heads up, like gross pictures ahead. But then, like, you
Warning.
spoil the fun surprise, right? So I just threw it out there. Got lots of people thanking me for not, like, I was having breakfast. And they're acting like they're angry, but I really see behind it. They're like, hey, that was a good one. That was a good toe pick. So
Good toe pick.
Good toe pick.
Anna, you were talking about the funnest part of the race for you. Kim, what was the funnest part of the race for you?
Oh man, I liked a few of the obstacles. I thought were actually really fun, like blowing the ping pong ball across the water across. I can't think. What is it? The cups. That's
Water
the
cup?
word.
Yeah.
That one. And like this time, I had someone in my pit managing the Zoom call, so I can actually say I enjoyed the community in the pit because it's the first time I could hear the Zoom call while I was actually coming in. So it was so cool.
Oh, how was that? How'd the Zoom call sound? I'm just curious.
You guys sounded amazing.
There
Very
we go.
motivating.
There we go.
But like I would have never joined in on it if I didn't have somebody running it in my pit crew area. So it was really fun. And we put it on the TV in the inside of the house. So there was a little delay, but we
nice.
had it like on everywhere and it was really cool.
Nice.
Oh, y'all had it from the YouTube stream?
Yeah, I had our YouTube streaming in my living room. So it was really convenient.
I actually had that up on my TV too. Even though I was on it, I still had it up and muted. And it was a good like 15 seconds behind. But I mean, it didn't
wasn't
matter.
bad.
If you're watching that, nobody cares. So
Yeah.
it looked really, really good.
We should shout out Jason for setting that all up. Team HQ gave us permission to share the stream of the Zoom on our YouTube channel. And one of the benefits of that is that, everyone can watch it live, but also it's saved for, in perpetuity. I didn't even know Amelia Boone made it onto the show. And you guys talked to her for like an hour and change.
Yeah, she was on it for over an hour.
So I must have had a really long lap when she was on, and I just missed her on the front and on the back end because that was cool. I got to watch. It was a great, hour interview with Amelia Boone. I would have missed.
Yeah, and we were supposed to. Ryan Atkins actually got into the chat because I got a hold of him to get him on, but then he kind of lives out in the far eastern part of Canada there, and his Wi-Fi was spotty, so he kept dropping out before we can get him on. So we should have had Ryan also, which would have been pretty nice. But Amelia's a great guest, and I'm really stoked that she stuck around for as long as she did.
Carlo, how many burpees did you end up doing during the event?
I did 240 burpees. So I basically, and again, it had nothing to do. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's a Spartan influence." No, it has nothing to do with any of that. It was literally me needing to do something once an hour to just keep my blood going. And I knew if I did push-ups, no one would be able to see them. And then no one would even believe that I was doing them to begin with. So I just started doing 10 burpees at the top of every hour. And as it was, no one believed that I was doing the push-up part of the burpee once I went off screen. So it didn't matter. I got crap for that anyway. But 240 total. And it got to a point where I looked forward to doing them because it meant another hour was gone. Because, man, the last 4 hours or so was just... I mean, I haven't watched any of it, the video, but I don't actually remember a lot about the last 2 hours, to be honest. I was zoning out so hard.
I'm hoping that people watch it and comment. I think maybe we haven't put it in enough places, but we posted about it in the World's Toughest group, and I'm hoping more people watch it and comment and put timestamps for interesting things because there's so much good stuff in there. But obviously, you're not going to just watch the whole thing to try and find it.
Yeah, we went. I don't know where it is. I don't see, it all kind of melds in, but I know we spent a good half hour talking about how to make a proper cup of tea with some of the Brits. And then,
Oh my God.
and then whether or not you put milk in your tea and what the appropriate, and there's one type of tea you never put milk in, and there's another time you do. And if you're serving it to yourself, the milk goes in second, or if you're filling a whole platter's worth of cups, then you have to put the milk in first. It's amazing. It's fascinating stuff. Well, fascinating when you've been up for 18 hours or what. Fascinating to us at the time. At the time, it was very fascinating, guys. So anyway, I don't know where that timestamp is, but I got to find that because that was great. That needs to be set aside.
So I missed Amelia Boone and I missed the tea conversation. What were some other highlights of the Zoom call that the racers might have missed?
Yeah. That they might have missed. I want to hear things that they actually heard.
I thought it was funny that for whatever reason, my garage kept coming back up to you guys And so anytime there was a downtime, I guess it would just show my garage. So sometimes that caught us doing stuff, but other times they were just like, oh, there's Jason's garage again.
Yes, it was for some reason. I think because you were one of the first ones. I think that probably joined the call. So for whatever reason, yeah, whenever things were idle, it would just default back to your garage, and we're just kind of like, oh, hope his pit crew knows that we can like see what they're doing right now.
Yeah,
So.
I didn't even know the camera was on until I was like, oh, that's on. Okay, I'm glad I'm not doing anything like weird.
There was I can't remember the guy's name. Chris, I can't remember the guy's name. Chris something. I don't know him personally, but he had like his 10-year-old son who was kind of just watching the stream, but then he would always unmute himself and he wouldn't always say anything, but then there'd be background noise. And so his picture would come up and it would kind of interrupt what we were doing. And we'd be like, hey bud, how's it going, man? And he'd just kind of stare at us and he wouldn't say anything. And then his dad would come back and be like, come on, I told you not to do that. And he'd mute it. Sorry guys. Sorry. But he kept doing it. And it was just, then he was giving me a hard time. He was going in the comments like, Carlo, do burpees. It's burpee time, Carlo, do burpees. So yeah, I was getting trolled by a 10-year-old for part of the night. So that was exciting.
I know one of the times that the Zoom call caught my sister off guard because she was alone in the pit and they started talking to her and she's like, what is happening? But she did hear, she was in the pit the whole time, so she got to enjoy it more. And then on my last lap, she kind of walked a little bit with me. And she brought up a story that she heard on there. I guess you guys talked to Ruthie Sloan?
Yes.
Who is someone who did very well at the toughest. And then they have found out since that she has cancer. And it just was really cool because she was telling me all about it. And she's just like, please have her on your show. So, I mean, like, you guys were motivating and had good content. It entertained a lot of people.
Well, I hope so. I'm telling you, I like to talk as much as the next person, but that's a long time to talk. But the good news is I was on there with other people who also like to talk and kind of do it for a living. So that was, it was good. It was a good mix of people and personalities and stories and backgrounds. So, yeah.
So good job.
Thank you.
It's been a few days since the race finished. How did you feel when the race ended? How do you feel now, Jason?
I'd say I'm talking physically, my feet hurt pretty good, but they've been just tender, to be honest, more tender than anything. Like, walking on hardwood floor, it kind of hurts. But besides that, it hasn't been too bad. I've definitely run shorter distances and felt way more sore after.
How do you feel, Kim? How did you feel when you finished?
I felt terrible. I honestly felt like just my feet and legs were hurting so bad. I didn't know how I was going to finish that. But it took 2 days, and today I feel pretty much back to normal, fine. So the pain was temporary.
Anna, how are your dogs holding up?
Well, yeah, I think physically, like my legs, I had to fly back that same night. So I had to return my rental car and go through the airport and everything. So I felt like could I have been able to push it out for one more lap? Yeah. But then I probably wouldn't have been able to make my flight.
At what cost? Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think really, whatever we were talking at the beginning of the year leading up to this event, me, you, and Kim were the only OCR podcasters to not have reached 50 miles. And now we can say we've done that. And even though like asterisk, it's virtual, but it really makes me pumped to like look forward to next year and train for next year and really see what we can do.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I agree.
Here's the thing about a virtual 50-mile bib. It's kind of like making out with your cousin. Like, yeah, it counts. But are you going to brag about it?
But really, no, we're not going to brag about it, right?
So
but we know we can get there.
No, we can get there. I'm looking forward to getting a 50-mile bib from a real World's Toughest Mudder this November in Laughlin. That's a great segue, Anna. Will we see you at Laughlin 2021?
Absolutely.
Kim, you gonna run it?
Heck yeah.
Jason Dupree,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Carlo Piscatello.
It is my intention. Yes, I will be running this
Really?
2021.
Yay.
Yeah. I miss it too much now. As much as I love
It's
coverage and I
time.
will still do that for the other races, but yeah, it's a different thing we struggle being up for 24 hours in our own way, doing the running around the course and like getting footage and stuff, but it's not, at the end, it's not the same. Like, you're hugging everybody and it's sad that it's over and everybody's happy and you're happy, but it's like, it's not the same as the same kind of suffering. And I actually miss that.
It's
Remember that I said that, because right now it sounds like really good.
We'll remind you at 2 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
I said it in my last podcast episode, but the first year at every venue, something crazy happens. Whether it's Englishtown had the ice, they were breaking ice to jump into the water obstacles.
Right.
Vegas had the sandstorm, obviously. Atlanta had the ice storm. Dallas had the didn't even happen, and we had a virtual one. So it'll be interesting. I don't know what's going to happen, but something's going to happen. And
Something's going to happen.
and it's
That's
cool
exactly
to be
right.
there for the first year in a new venue. Looking forward to it.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right. Last question. If COVID is terrible again next year, would you do another virtual World's Toughest Mudder, Jason Dupree?
Probably so. It'll probably be even like this year. It was like, I just want to have fun. I want to not push myself to death. I just want to have fun. So it'll probably be even more like that. Like even more so, probably longer naps.
Anna?
Longer naps and
another virtual?
more episodes of 90 Day Fiance. Yeah, I'd probably. I think I share Jason's sentiment. Like it would probably be a lot easier and funner.
Kim?
I finished the race saying I don't want to run another virtual race ever, like any kind, but I would probably run it. Or I would love to pit for someone going for high miles. That would be,
There you go.
it would be one or the other, because I thought pitting in a virtual race would be so fun.
Carla, what do you think about running a 24-hour virtual race?
No, actually, no way. I'm going to stick with the Zoom call. I had so much fun. And the worst part was at the end, I just crawled into bed, and that was awesome. And I slept for like 8 hours. So no, although I do want to, I do want to get one quick question in to those who ran. Did you guys at any time throughout the night, did you get wind of the fact that Olivia Patterson, AKA the hallway girl, what she was doing and what she was up to?
Yeah, I think we had heard people mention Hallway Girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of that was actually really fun to watch. That whole thing it kind of took over. Like when things got slow, it was like, oh, let's check in with Hallway Girl, see where she's at, And the poor thing, because her Zoom was always on, you'd see her down the hall, back up the door, down the hall. And she wasn't gone very long. She was only going 8 feet. So
Could you
cool.
could you see her run each lap, the whole Zoom call?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Like literally, because 8 feet, not that far, and she had her laptop like in her rec room or whatever, or her little family room. So she would like stop right there and do her obstacle, and then she would just turn and she'd go to the end of the hallway and come back. We could see the whole thing. So it was great because it actually gave us kind of a little fallback, like when things got light as far as commentary. We're like, oh, let's see what's going on because it was much like it with at Worlds, like 3-4 in the morning when there's a dead time where people are either sleeping or it's just really quiet and not a lot of people on course. That's kind of how it got in the Zoom call. Like there was just nobody to check in with, it seemed. So we were like, oh, Clinton, tell us about that time that you opened up for Carrot Top or whatever, whatever. We were just struggling for stuff. So yeah.
Does anyone have any last thoughts on World's Toughest Mudder Lockdown Edition? Maybe Kim?
I do.
Or Jason?
I'd like to say something about effort versus, I think, the mileage achievement itself. And I feel like I've heard or seen some pros talk about this, maybe even Ryan Atkins on Instagram or something. I loved how the results showed your total lap time. So even though you ran for 24 hours, your lap time was like, I think yours was about 18 hours. and then mine was like 11 or 11 and a half, somewhere around there. So thinking about it, while I ran further than you ran for longer than I did, and that's awesome. Like, it's a little bit of bragging to say I ran further in quicker time, but really, the longer it takes you to do it, that's harder, man. Being out there even longer, it's really impressive to see that it took you 18 hours. I'm like, oh God, I'm so glad I didn't have to run that that long.
That time, is that just the lap time? That doesn't count any obstacle?
Right.
Well, I guess the other 6 hours was obstacle pit time, right?
Right. Because if you were going nonstop and doing your obstacles, then your running time would have been that number. But my running time obviously included some breaks too. But my mileage time, I was able to get it in less time, which honestly makes it easier. Having to do it in a longer period of time is way tougher and way more challenging. It's like the people that go out and do an ultra beast and they're large people and they can't run. It's like it takes them 8 hours to do it. It's like, that's impressive, man. The longer it takes you to do it, the harder it is for you, the more impressive it is, to be honest.
Kim, do you have any last thoughts?
Oh man, I had more fun than I expected. I think just in general, it was a really good virtual race. They thought it out, and I enjoyed it.
Anna, any last thoughts?
Yeah, I think for a virtual race, I think we made the best of it. And it made it so much better running it with other people than running it by myself.
That too.
For me, it just made all the difference.
Carlo, any last thoughts?
Yeah, that was kind of the main takeaway that I saw too, between the 12-hour toughest and then the 24-hour world's toughest, is that I think folks who did the toughest and did it on their own made more of a conscious effort to partner up with people, because there was a lot more pits with groups in it, I think, than there were solo runners this time. And so, yeah, that seems to be the way to go. And I also hope, like you said, that this is the last time we have to do this, and that, come April when toughest LA hits, we can all just go there and do it or cover it. Please, COVID, go away.
Peace world.
Wear your masks, people. Come on. Vaccine, let's go.
Jason and Anna are the hosts of OCR Talk. You can find them on OCR Talk. Kim is the host of the OCR Coven. Carlo is the co-host of Piss and Cox. You can find him on YouTube. Guys, thank you very much. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank
you.
you.
Will.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Declan, you want to say hello?
No.
Bye.